This should be played at high volume, preferably in a residential area.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Lovely.
Everybody's looking to see if it was you. Everyone wants to come through. Everyone's hoping it'll all work out. Everyone's wanting to hold you out because everybody's working for the weekend. You want another piece of my heart, Joe?
I'm still working on the first part.
No. Delicious. Hey, welcome to the Maastricht edition, everybody. There's a little lover boy for you.
Hello.
Was that too deep a cut for you guys? I mean, that was pretty deep.
That was quite deep, actually, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yes.
Loverboy. Nobody really knows Loverboy, but I'm not going to throw that out there. In fact, I'm not going to even say their name anymore because then they're going to be asking for royalties. And anyway, hi.
Hi.
Excellent. Well, we're setting a nice high level of culture here already on the Maastricht edition, and God
indeed.
knows it could do with it.
Well, yeah. Let's call a spade a spade. But we had rather a cultural show this evening.
What did we do
have
to
so much
deserve this?
going on, but let's, as well as welcoming everybody to the Maastricht edition this evening, we should talk about the elephant in the room, or rather, the elephant that's not in the room. Our Matt is not here this week.
How dare an elephant, you say?
Well, sort of skinny elephant, kind of. I mean, look.
Yeah, no, you've already put it out there, Joe. It's too late now. Explain your way out of that one.
Well, we could talk about his trunk. Anyway,
When you're in a hole,
he
stop
was
digging.
Tracy. He was with Tracey last week, of course. He was sitting next to Tracey because he was having a little visit to Maastricht City Centre. So he was in our Tracey for the show. But this week we don't have him at all. So
No.
Tracey, what have you done with him?
Well, I'm sworn to secrecy. He let me in on what he was going to do this week, but I'm not telling.
Oh well.
Something with his trunk, I assume.
Yes.
Being an elephant and all.
He's away. I hear tell he's in a place called the north part of the Netherlands, a place I've never been.
Yes. The
Is there
place where
such a
you need
place?
passport.
A magical mystery place. But
Well,
yes,
that's the accent.
There are
Yes.
places outside of Limburg. Weird.
they have a thing called a hard G.
Yeah.
Yes, they do. And if you can find that hard G spot, then you're doing really well. I think actually the way the weather has actually been this week, we could have all been blown up the north anyway. I literally woke up and just found I was not in Kansas anymore this morning. It was really
It was quite something this week, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I tell you, I opened our door to the balcony. Little Tubbs put his nose out and thought, sod that, and came back in again. So it was very, very windy.
goats.
Yep.
Yes, that's it, goats. Okay.
I was waiting for the follow-on to that. Something about all this talk of goats and G-spots and the wind. I don't know what's going on.
Well, I'll tell you what is going on this evening, of course. We're going to tell you about our lovely guests that are coming up very shortly.
Yeah.
But we are celebrating Huffle Buff. Now, we found out this week that Huffle Buff is a Scottish term which means old comfy clothes. So, this evening, I'm in my sparkly jimmie-jams. I've got my pyjamas on, and fortunately, with the weather turning as it has this week, I can wear them this week because I couldn't have worn them last week. It was too bloody hot.
Too hot.
So I've got my jimmie-jams on. What have you got on, Tracey?
Well, yes, I decided to wear my little sort of comfy cheesecloth tunic, which I wear if I'm going for acupuncture or doing yoga. It's my sort of comfy, loose outfit. So that's what I have on, with some leggings, which are on underneath the table.
So it's easy to be bendy.
Yes, this is my bendy outfit, indeed. Yes.
Where else would you?
The bendy outfit.
Where else would you wear leggings? I mean, they're under the table, but I mean, like I feel like that was a qualifier that we had to know that.
Because we're only going from the waist up, so just to assure
I've only
you.
got a word for it, Jason.
Yes.
Oh.
No, that's true. It's too cold not to wear leggings at the moment.
It has got a bit chilly. And actually, Jason, you look like you're quite toasty in your hoodie. Is that your Huffle Buff that you've got on?
Oops. Oh, we were only supposed to go. We were supposed to go for the full outfit, not just the tops.
No. The top is absolutely fine.
Okay.
We've
I don't know.
seen
Tracy set the standard by saying that we're wearing bottoms, and well.
There you go.
Anyway, I'm wearing an entirely too short hoodie.
Okay, ooh, saucy.
Viewers will be so pleased.
Yes.
We're gonna get emails. We're gonna get emails because we keep mentioning our premium content. And they're gonna start. Where is this premium content?
Where is it? Just push that button.
No, don't. No.
Well, maybe our listeners actually should be subscribing to our YouTube channel, because there may be, just maybe, you will see our premium offerings that we have for you. Now, this evening, of course, on the show, we've got 2 guests this evening.
Well,
we've got 3. We got 3. Okay. I missed out the third one. We've got Erik coming up from the Fotomuseum in the Vrijthof. He's going to be telling us all about the lovely photos that we've got going on there. Absolutely. We've got Erica and Elisa, who are from Deli Manas, the restaurant that provides Brazilian food to the whole of Maastricht. Can't wait for that. Pastel de Natas. We're going to be talking about those. And who is our third guest this evening, Tracey?
Well, that's it. We've got Erik and Elisa and Erica.
Oh, I do apologise. So you had me thrown there for a moment. So Erica and Elisa, we're classing as 2 people.
Yes,
we're classing them as 1. I apologise.
You ask Jo about the hard G, she knows all about it. Basic arithmetic.
Not so much.
Yeah, but you know what's important, though. That's what's important right there.
Indeed. And a glass of wine is also important. Cheers, my dear.
Oh, yes. Cheers.
Cheers to everyone watching as well.
Yes. Oh, Jason, are you not going to drink?
No, I've got nothing. Sorry. I'm trying to be a responsible adult today.
Oh.
Your ears must be very warm.
My rear is what?
Your ears must be very warm.
No, I heard what I wanted to. Thank you.
Take your hoodie down so you can actually hear what we're saying.
Oh, no. I heard exactly what I wanted to.
Anyway. Yeah,
with the hoodie on, Jason reminds me a little bit of Elliot from E.T.
Thank you.
Just randomly throwing that out there.
That is very random, actually.
Yes. There you are.
Thank you?
Yes, thank you.
No, I mean, is that a compliment? Maybe you hated that movie. I don't know.
I loved it. One of my favorites all time.
Yeah.
You know what? It's just occurred to me. It seems to be one of those films they don't repeat on TV that often.
Well,
it's terrible,
here's
right?
the thing. They do repeat it sometimes. So what they do is they repeat the little anniversary edition, which has extra footage that was not in the original. And in my view, it does not improve it at all.
Is that so, like a director's cut?
Because you can see the puppeteer's elbows and everything. It's just weird.
No, they have sections of the movie that were cut from the original edit, and they've, for some reason, put them back in. But when you watch it, if you're like me and had seen it like 30 times when it first came out, and then you watch the one that's on TV, you're thinking, this isn't part of the proper movie, and it annoys me.
But to be fair, Tracey, I mean, if you're a true fan, you really want the extras because they cut out E.T.'s romance altogether. I mean, the love scenes were very tasteful.
No, it's not true.
Are we talking about the same movie?
I think probably not.
Spielberg, right? I mean, this is... Okay,
well,
I mean...
Two are waffling on about that. I just want to ask our listeners out there, one of which is Adam. Good evening, Adam. Nice of you to join us. As we're talking about Huffle Buffs this evening, your old comfy clothes. Tell us, have you got any comfy clothes that you just can't be without? If you've got any photos of yourself, where you're just sort of all wrapped up in that old pair of leggings or that old jumper, or maybe your big pants. Us girls, we love our big pants. Are those your Huffle Buffs? Huffle Buffs. Those are your old comfy clothes, according to the Scottish. Paul's with us from South Africa. He's just joined us, and Katie. Now, hello, Katie. I bet you have got plenty of big knickers that are your favourites that you like to get comfy in. Now, you don't have to send us pictures. Oh, you can. Yeah, why not?
Wait, hands up.
Hands up. Yes, there's a question from the room.
Yeah. And so, okay, if you're going to send pictures, great. Thank you. Thank you for watching and thank you for participating. But make sure that you send pictures that wouldn't make your mother cringe. Those kinds of photos.
Always good.
I just thrown out there, and
What's the fun in that?
there's fun in that. Okay, I take that back. Send
Okay,
all
you
the
don't-
photos.
You don't have to send them publicly. You can always send them to us on private messenger, so then we can just look at them and giggle. I mean,
That's
that'll
not
keep us going
sketchy.
in our old age.
That's not
That's
sketchy at
excellent.
all. Send us.
Not at all.
Just slide into our DMs. Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was last week, actually. We got some very interesting messages from the US and one of from our ex-colleague of ours, actually, who was sending us some coded messages.
Indeed, indeed, and I'm sure I'll receive some of those. I'll be sure to read them on air, Jess.
Yes. Thank you, Jess.
Anyway,
it's probably time to get our first guest on the show.
Exciting.
So it is very exciting because the lovely Erik de Jong, who, as we said, is curator at the Fotomuseum in the Vrijthof, is going to be joining us. And here he is.
And it
Good
works.
evening, Erik.
hey, wonderful.
Yeah, one time. Hello. Good
Lovely
evening.
to see you. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. And how are you guys?
Well,
Doing well.
we're doing well. We're still in our respective homes, as the show is not in the studio anymore. But but we're doing okay, I think. Actually, we're still here.
All right.
Yes.
Well,
And how's lockdown been for you, Erik?
sorry, I couldn't hear
How's
your
lockdown
question.
been for you?
Everything is okay here. I'm healthy. My family's healthy. Our employees are healthy.
Good.
And we attract a lot of youngsters to the expo, which is quite remarkable. And that's fun to see. So we're in a good vibe and in a good mode.
So, how much of the lockdown was the museum actually closed for?
2.5 months.
Wow.
That's
Going.
a long time. And was it completely closed, or did you have work going on internally while the lockdown was on?
Well, the first week we were a bit in shock, like everybody. So I was there with my employees we had our Jimmy Nelson Expo, and all the artwork had to go back to Germany. And it was a kind of tricky if we could pass the border. So we had to come up with some ideas to get it over the border.
Mm-hmm.
And when everybody was, when all those artworks were shipped out, we were standing there. We were cleaning the offices, cleaning the museum, and went home for about a week. And then we decided, all right, we can sit here, mock here, or we can do something else to try to be in a positive way.
Mm-hmm.
So we developed some new ideas for the new expos to come and put some work in front. And so I was already every day there at the museum. And we tried to change with our employees. So we Zoomed a lot. We did a lot about Microsoft Teams and that kind of things. Strange period. But I told someone this morning it's always also kind of reflecting area, because we were always in a rush. And that's a period of time. All right, what are we going to do? What are we going to do in the future? So I don't think it's that bad.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, for our listeners who maybe are not familiar with the Fotomuseum, maybe you could give us a bit of background as to how long the museum's been open and why it was initially opened in the first place.
Museum at the Vrijthof Fotomuseum is reopened as a photographic museum last year, September, with Jimmy Nelson. And the museum is located at the Vrijthof, the central square in Maastricht, which is one of the oldest buildings in Maastricht. It was the former palace of Charles V, conqueror, emperor of the Spanish Reich. And it was first stable palace. It was a home for nurses. And since about 1970, it was a museum for typical Maastricht craftsmanship and Maastricht artists. And during the 80s and 90s, it developed an idea to get it more bigger and to get a kind of a renovation. So about 2012, it was renovated, enlarged with another building. And from there on, there was an idea, all right, developed an idea of showing art from the Maastricht region.
Yeah.
But because of we are a private museum, so we're not subsidized, and fewer and fewer visitors were coming to the museum. So we had to come up with another idea, and I was attracted to the museum in 2014. And we developed slowly the idea of becoming a photographic museum. And it was mainly because Maastricht has a large number of students, international students. And photography is an art form which attracts a lot of youngsters everywhere in the world. And instead of being one of the lot of the museums in the region which is doing art, went to the only museum that was focusing on photography. So we had another scoop with that, and last year we had about 40,000 visitors.
Wow.
Which is a lot for us. It was our best year ever.
My goodness.
For the first time we heard it, you've got a small building. It was very crowded. And the new course with photography is still, although we had to close for 2.5 months, it still attracts a lot of youngsters. We have about 30% of our visitors students from Antwerp, Düsseldorf, from over Holland, and also a lot of young kids, because Limburg was very crowded with tourists, and there was nothing to do. There was no festival. There was no event for all the youngsters. So as a parent, you have to drag your kids to something. All right, let's go to a museum. And because of the thing, our expo is Streetlife, which is about hip hop and that kind of thing, then people could turn on records, old records. So fathers were instructing their youngsters how you have to put on a record with. So it was fun to see. It was fun to see. Yeah.
Well, this is an ideal place for Tracey, because our Tracey is an amateur photographer and she loves her vinyl. So this is going to be perfect for you, Trace.
Have you seen the exhibition?
I have not, but I was telling the guys just before we came on air that I think it's probably time I made a visit this weekend. So it sounds like it's the perfect afternoon for me. And I live quite close to the Vrijthof, so there's no excuse, really. But it's
absolutely no excuse for you, Tracey.
Yeah, indeed. And I love my vinyl, and indeed aspiring photographer. I wouldn't say amateur, Joe. That's very kind. But it's very interesting. I had a look online at Streetlife, which is the one you have in-house at the moment.
Yes.
How long is this exhibition going to be at your premises for? And is the artist in-house with you at the moment?
No, unfortunately not. Jamel Shabazz is an American artist and is an Afro-American photographer. And because of the corona crisis, he was invited at the opening event, but he couldn't come here, or he should be in quarantine. And the situation in Brooklyn, New York was that bad that he said, all right, sorry, I love Maastricht, I love the exhibition, but this is one hurt too much. So he's not coming either, because he said, listen, if I come back, I have to go in quarantine, so that's a bit too much. The expo is till the end of September, so we for 3 weeks in September. And a bit lucky for us was the fact that it's about the New York life in the early 80s, which was my period to going out. So, but my music was Spandau Ballet and the Simple Minds and that kind of stuff. But what you see is that he was photographing cool cats, as they called it in New York, the youngsters. And although then also a lot of Black American guys were picked up by the police, died in circumstances which were not okay. And during this expo, you had the Black Lives Matter movement, which was coming up. And I think that that is one of the reasons that a lot of youngsters are coming to the expo.
So it's very relevant to today.
Yeah, but it was not on purpose. I have to be honest. It was not on purpose. It came together. But you see a lot of colored people, diversity coming up to the exposition and looking at the pictures. And it's fun to see, because we never have that much youngsters in our museum. And that much youngsters, families, music in the museum, hip hop. There are 2 places in the museum you can play records. It's in the upper floor for the hip hop music, and it's in the down floor for the jazz at the early 60s, 70s from Hans Rietveld. And those two combined, so it's not silence, it's crowded, it's nice. But you will going to see it this Saturday. So look forward to your opinion.
It's quite interesting because photography is often a medium that can perhaps speak more to people as well. I mean, art is very beautiful, of course, but it's often such a personal thing. And some people can have more empathy or relate more to a photograph. I wonder if this is also a reason behind the popularity.
Yeah, I don't know exactly. I think photography is not a new art form. It's an old art form. What you see throughout the world, because of everybody's taking pictures with their smartphone, it's increasing. At the same time, you see a kind of movement which is going back to the vintage part. That a lot of people, youngsters, students from the academies for photography want to go back to the doka, as you call it, the dark room with analog, making analog photos. And it combines with vintage of, I think there's kind of movement we desire to the days before, you see. And it's true, photography is more direct than art. It's less abstract. And either you hate it or you like it, or you see a story in a photo or not. Or the average, there's been held, the average time people look at a picture is around 1.5 seconds. And either you look at it and you stay there, or you go further on.
Wow.
And our regular audiences, the art lovers and the regular people who visit of the museum, think they pass it too much because the exhibition. And what you see is that the youngsters stay longer to see at pictures. And it's the fun part of it is not, it's a kind of documentary photography. And what now you see is hip hop with all the large jewelry and that kind of thing. And that was the first time they tried it out, but it was not, how do you call it? It was not put on purpose. It was just the way they felt it. And you see very proud, joyful, nice people who full of life. And then, that's the fun part of the expo.
So, and this is fantastic. I mean, we want to talk to you much longer, but we do. Unfortunately, we have to move on here.
Of course.
So if people want to come and experience that joy and emotion for themselves, how do they come and find you?
You can see our website, Fotomuseum aan het Vrijthof.nl, or you go visit our every day from Tuesday till Sunday from 10 till 5:30.
Fantastic. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on, Erik. Thank you so much for joining us. It's great to hear that the museum's back open and it's doing so well. It'll be interesting to hear about what the rest of the year is going to be happening in the museum. So we shall wait with bated breath to see what appears on your website. And I'm sure our Tracey will be going along at every opportunity, every time there is an expo on, vinyl or no vinyl, for sure.
Yes, I'll bring my own if needs be.
And if folks want information on Erik here, we'll be sure to put that on at the end of the video here and on our social media so they can find your website, Erik. So we'll put all your information out there.
Thank you for sharing, and thank you for letting me in your show.
Of course.
An absolute pleasure, Erik. All the best now. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, that sounds like fun.
Really,
Yeah,
doesn't
no
it?
kidding.
What a lovely gentleman as well.
Very
can
nice
really
guy.
feel his passion. But I find it so interesting, this Streetlife exhibition, and with the music mixed in. Wow, very cool.
Great stuff. We've got Val in the house. Evening, Val. Ellie's with us. Caroline as well.
Hey
Good
there.
evening. Lovely for you to join us. So that was the lovely Erik de Jong. We are now, I do believe, after all that excitement, needing to calm down a little bit.
Yes.
I think it's time to relax, even though I've got this whopping great big tractor going past my window.
Tell them to shove it. It's time to relax.
I think it's more shoveling it, actually. It's the smell that's coming through the kitchen window as well.
There was me thinking it's all peace and quiet in the countryside. My goodness.
Anything but. So yes, let's take a moment to just sort of inhale.
Inhale, really?
Exhale.
Okay.
Hail Caesar.
It's inhale because of the sheep. Yeah, never mind. Anyway,
it's
hey.
good for you. Good country air. It's good for the lungs.
Of course.
Relax. Put your feet up. Take a sip of something cold and wet, and in your Huffle Buffs.
Yes.
For those who are wondering what Huffle Buffs are, where have you been? We started this at the beginning of the show, but let's get into Zen mode in our Huffle Buffs because it is time for this day in history.
Oh, it's terrible. Gong. Here we go.
So bad.
You get your gong though. Whatever.
Gong.
Gong.
Gong. Going gong.
Anyway, calm us down, Joe. Calm us down.
Today is Thursday, the 27th of August, the last Thursday of August. Oh my God.
Last day of summer.
Is it really?
It's September next week.
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah, well, it certainly feels like it. That's why I've got my jimmie-jams on. So today, in 1913, the Swedish engineer Gideon Sundback of Hoboken applies to patent the all-purpose zipper. Where would we be without the all-purpose zipper?
It keeps me up at night, this question.
Do you know what? It's one of those funny things, isn't it? Because we take these things for granted, zippers. We love them. They're very, very useful. But my God, when one breaks, it's like game over.
Disaster.
It is a disaster because all of a sudden, I can't wear this jumper or I can't wear this jacket. The zipper is broken. And if you're not very good at sewing, then you just kind of discard it and go and buy another jacket, don't you? Which is a bit ridiculous. In 1955, on this very day, the Guinness Book of World Records was first published.
Yeah.
Now, I seem to remember as a kid that the Guinness Book of World Records was quite a big thing, actually. There was programs about it, and there was always reports about some new entry that was really interesting. But you don't hear about it so much now.
Yeah, it's just guys with long nails and beards, right?
I think pretty much,
Yeah. I mean, it used to be, if I recall correctly, it used to be under every Christmas tree, wasn't it? You know, you get a copy of the latest 20 version, whatever it was. And
yes, and if you were the lucky recipient of one, you would sit there for the rest of Christmas going, oh, did you know?
I remember a random one where there was a guy who ate X amount of beans with a toothpick, and that made it into the Guinness Book of Records. So who knows? Anyway.
In 1964, on this very day, Walt Disney's Mary Poppins, which was directed by Robert Stevenson and starring the wonderful Julie Andrews and Dick Van Dyke, premiered in Los Angeles. Oh my God, my childhood was Mary Poppins. Absolutely adore Mary Poppins.
Your childhood was what?
Julie Andrews to the ground that she walks on. If I tell you, that's somebody I would be very starstruck if I ever met Julie Andrews, for sure. For sure.
We love her.
We do love her. And if you're listening to Julie Andrews, come on the show anytime. We love you.
I'll message you later, Julie.
Sorry?
I said I'll message you later, Julie. It's fine.
Yes, please do. On this day in 1965, the Beatles spend an evening with Elvis Presley.
Ooh, big news.
Dumb and Dumber.
1966. Ignore him. In 1966, on this very day, Francis Chichester begins the first solo sail around the world. Soon after that became Sir Francis Chichester, I do believe. In 1970, on this very day, Jimi Hendrix creates his last studio recording at Electric Lady Studios in New York, and an instrumental called Slow Blues. In 1975, on the 27th of August, Veronica and Colin Scargill complete a tandem bicycle ride, a record 18,000 miles around the world. Now, I have to say, cycling around the world is one thing. Cycling around the world so close to somebody's backside for 18,000 miles, I can't say sounds very pleasant.
Or it's really pleasant. I don't know. I don't know. It depends on who you are, I say.
I guess it all depends on that rear, doesn't it? But no, that's quite something.
Fat-bottom girls do make the world go round.
We certainly do. In 2001, on this very day, Angelina Jolie is named as the UNHCR Goodwill Ambassador at UNHCR headquarters in Geneva. We don't see much of Angelina Jolie these days. I suppose she's just going around spreading goodwill.
She's too busy making the world go round.
She is making the world go round. Has she got a big gone? Has she?
I have no idea. I'm assuming. Angie will talk later.
Oh,
Uh,
stay tuned.
Yeah.
In 2008, Barack Obama becomes the first African American to be nominated by a major political party for president of the US. Please come back.
Barack, I'll
And
message you later.
finally, this day, 2012, the first interplanetary human voice recording is broadcast from the Mars rover Curiosity.
Oh.
I know.
Uh-huh.
So
What?
there's a very good chance that somebody on another planet out there has gone, huh?
So what did they broadcast?
It was the first interplanetary human voice recording.
You know, I think they just put on Crazy Frog and,
I think
and blasted it out into space.
Yes. Yes, quite like it. Or maybe the intro to the Muppet Show or something like that. I mean, that's cool.
Either way, get ready for that alien invasion, everyone.
That would be really, really good. That I would like very much. So birthdays. On this day, 1929, Ira Levin, the American author, one of my favourites, was born. In 1947, Barbara Bach, the American actress and singer, was born. Lost me thread there. Hold on a minute. 1947, Barbara Bach, the American actress and singer, was born. There. End of.
That's a world famous tongue twister there.
It is. Yeah.
Dang a dang ding a dong.
Yeah, that's well. 1952, here's another one. Pee Wee Herman was born, the American actor.
His real name?
Paul Rubens.
Ah, you looked.
Well done.
But it is Paul Rubens, yeah.
I did my job.
Yeah.
And finally, 1979, Aaron Paul, the American actor, famous for
Who?
Aaron Paul.
Aaron Paul. Oh,
Aaron
Breaking
Paul,
Bad.
bitch.
Yay! Famous for Breaking Bad. So yes,
Yeah.
Happy birthday, you lovely people.
Happy birthday, bitch.
Everybody else out there is having a birthday today. Hope you're having a wonderful day, whatever it is. And that was this day in history.
Well done, darling.
By the way,
Fabulous.
for anyone that was offended by the language I just used there, you need to watch Breaking Bad in order to understand that. Just throwing it out there.
Good job.
Yeah.
Not seen Breaking Bad, actually.
Oh, it's worth it, Joe. Take you a while to get through. There's quite a lot of seasons, but it's good.
But it's good.
I'm working through The Good Wife at the moment, and I'm finding that quite entertaining. So, yes, it's on the list.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but there's no meth addiction in The Good Wife. Come on. Or maybe there is. I don't know. I've never seen it.
No, we have a perfectly good one here. We don't need to watch one. Anyway, it is 7:33.
Oh,
Time for the news.
oh, right. Okay, I'm ready. Let me drink some water.
I feel like I crafted that song for nothing. Come on.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. It's August 27th, and you're watching the Maastricht edition. First, a look at your weekend weather, and it seems we are in for more rain and thunderstorms from Friday through Sunday. There will be some sunny spells, however, and temperatures will be around 20 degrees. Now, moving to your news bulletin for tonight. 3 disinfecting points have been installed at Schiphol Airport, where travellers can disinfect their personal belongings. The service, which is available for departing, arriving, and transferring passengers, is meant for phone, tablets, keys and passports. The disinfecting hand gel at Schiphol Airport is made from Dutch tulip bulbs, which are too small for cultivation. Koninklijke Horeca Nederland has criticised local authorities for a lack of consistency in the monitoring of coronavirus measures in catering establishments across the country. It's believed the inconsistency in coronavirus rules means business owners simply do not know where they stand. And a collision on the train track earlier has impacted services between Eindhoven and Weert and Venlo and Roermond. Passengers are advised to check their travel plans and to watch out for extra crowds as a result of delays. Dutch retail chain Action opened its first shops in the Czech Republic today, the 8th country where the company is active. Italy is set to follow next year. Action was founded in Enkhuizen in 1993 and has 1,600 shops across Europe. And have you ever wondered what the most popular things are in the Dutch weekly grocery shop? Well, it seems the top 3 items are semi-skimmed milk, cucumbers and bananas. Toilet paper is also one of the top selling products. And supermarket chain Lidl is taking another step in reducing its food waste. From now on, customers can buy products on their use-by date at knockdown prices. Products like cheese, bread and milk will be priced at 25 cents and meat, fish and vegan products at 50 cents. A 2-kilogram box of fruit and vegetables can be bought for just €3. Most other supermarkets simply discard products that have reached their use-by date. And an ANWB survey has revealed that the village of Winsum in Groningen is the most beautiful village in all of the Netherlands. It seems Winsum stood out as a winner because of its friendly and welcoming centre, its iconic buildings and its lively atmosphere. And finally tonight, the bones of a number of prehistoric animals have been found during the construction of the newest sluis near Terneuzen. The discovery includes bones from a mammoth and woolly rhinoceros, a 7-million-year-old inner ear of an extinct whale, the molar of a young mammoth and 2 tusks, all of which are thought to be 30,000 years old. And that's it for tonight. For more local news, you can follow RTV News in English on Facebook and Instagram. If you are a local business, be sure to check out the Support Your Local Business South Limburg Facebook page, a joint initiative between #Maastricht and the Maastricht edition. And if you want to discover events, concerts and cultural activities going on in Maastricht and the surrounding areas, head on over to the website of our partner, maastrichter.com, to check out their awesome calendar of events. You can also follow them on social media. And don't forget that you can always find us on the Maastricht Edition Facebook page, on our YouTube channel, on Reddit and on Instagram. For all the details, check out the maastrichtedition.nl.
Marvellous, Tracey.
You know what I want to do?
There we are.
What do you want to do, Jason?
You know what I want to do? So, like, before we moved here, we sold a house.
Tell me what you want. What you really, really want.
I'll tell you what I want.
What you really, really want. Tell me what you want. What you really.
We're going to talk about earworms later, but Tracey's little mention about finding bones just got me thinking here. Like, so when I move from this house, what I want to do is I want to go to like a Halloween costume store or whatever and get those fake skeletons and maybe like redo a wall and just put the bones in the wall, seal it up. And nice. So like years from now, somebody's like redoing I don't know. I gotta imagine how all these dinosaurs felt.
Yeah,
and now you're digging up my bones. And,
yeah, just leave me be,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I got you.
Or maybe they're having fun with it. Who knows?
Actually, one of our listeners this evening, Jess, she would be interested in bones, and she'd probably be interested in the cucumbers that you were talking about earlier, Tracey.
That's right, Jess. Enjoy.
And the bananas too, perhaps.
And possibly the bananas, yes.
All this talk of food.
Who have just joined us, good evening and welcome to the Maastricht edition. It is now part 2, and we are celebrating Huffle Buff. Huffle Buff, a Scottish word for old, comfy clothes. And this evening, I've got my glittery, comfy PJs on. Tracey's in her...
my sort of yoga tunic, stretchy outfit.
Her bendy outfit. This is where she can bend it.
Yes, bend it, shape it.
And Jason?
I am also in my bendy outfit.
Oh, nice.
You just can't see the rest of it, but it's very bendy.
Jason.
Pardon?
I wasn't aware that you were that bendy.
Demonstrations later. Hour number 2 of the Maastricht edition.
Well, something that is worth looking forward to now is we're going to have 2 guests joining us, all the way from Brazil, I believe.
Well, I don't think they're actually in Brazil, but the ladies are from.
Ladies are from Brazil.
No, they're phoning us from Brazil. It's fine.
Oh, they're phoning us from Brazil. Really? Well, let's find out. Let's get them online and see if we can find them. We've got Erica and Elisa. Hello.
Hi, guys.
From Delimanas. Good evening.
Hey, good
How
evening.
are you, ladies?
Doing fine, and you?
Nice.
So just clear up something for us. Are you actually from Brazil? Are you in Brazil?
No. We are from Brazil, and we are in the Netherlands, in Maastricht.
Okay. Now we know, guys. Now we know.
I'm going to pretend.
We have a big fan club that has joined us online here, actually. We've got loads of friends of yours, quite possibly from Brazil right now, who are online. We've got Flavia, we've got Fernando, Luciana, Terezinha, I think. Maybe.
It's our mother, Terezinha.
That's your mom.
Hey. Hi.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hello, Mom.
Hello, Mom. Obrigado.
I'm a-
Bom dia. I don't know what time is it there at the moment. I've got no idea what time it is in
And now
Brazil.
it's afternoon, so it's 5 hours difference.
Well, tardy then. Okay.
Two, almost 3.
Excellent.
Nice.
Well, welcome to the show, Mum. Lovely to have you with us. Oh, she's saying hello, Erica and Elisa. Oh, isn't that good?
So, Erica and Elisa, so for the folks that are just joining us, perhaps you can introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about why you're here.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, I am Elisa Koke and I am Erika Koke. Yeah, so we are sisters. We live in Maastricht, and we are here today to talk a bit about Deli Minas, which is an adventure that we started in the middle of the Corona crisis, and it's going well. So we are very excited. So Deli Minas, it's a catering and a food, homemade food business we open where we sell, Brazilian food, but with a little bit of a touch of our international cuisine, but basically, roots from where we come from. So like comfort food for us and for the Brazilians around and from the people that also love our country. So,
Well, it's
yeah.
very brave of you to start up the business
Yes.
during the coronavirus lockdown, of course. Well,
Yeah.
were you planning on doing it before, or was this a spontaneous idea?
No, actually, it was a dream of ours. So Erika moved here in January. She's a chef, and I am I'm a foodie. So I love food. I've been doing courses around the world where I traveled So I love cooking, and we always thought about doing something. So, but because of the crisis, so Erika was working in restaurants. They closed, of course. And we start, materializing a little bit more, put in the paper what we were thinking. And I said, yeah, why not doing now, And that's the way it happened. So it was quite spontaneous in the way that we never thought it would be so fast. But yeah, so we are very happy with taking the decision. Yeah.
Well, Brazilian food, I don't think is something you find very often in the Netherlands, actually. So what is it about Brazilian food that's going to be so different to anything that we've tasted before?
So, I mean, if you go to the north of the Netherlands, there are more, the more Brazilian immigrants. So you would find, for instance, a Brazilian restaurant. And so for the most people, when they think about Brazilian food, they think about churrasco, which is a typical barbecue, right? So a lot of meat, and but there is much more than that. So Brazil is quite a continent, like the US it's quite big. So we have a lot of diversity of food in one country. So within our menu, we try to put a bit of everything we have in our background.
Mm-hmm.
So we do have, for instance, we have a typical Brazilian barbecue sausage, which is something very, without any preservatives and conservants. So it's quite good quality of meat and sausage. But we also have like chicken pie, that's very specific. The dough that we do, it melts in your mouth, so it's super good. Yeah. And it's very comfort food for Brazilians, and you cannot find around anywhere. And so when we launched, people were like, "Oh my God, I haven't eaten that for years!" And
I'm getting hungry.
No kidding.
No, it's really nice. And
So,
you guys have a lovely Instagram account, which I'm following, and you often post these lovely desserts and sweet little pastry things, which are yummy.
we have, so we are from Minas Gerais, which is a very traditional, has a very heavy culinary tradition. And doce de leite is one of them. So in South America, you can find doce de leite in many different ways. So, and the doce de leite of our region, it's very famous, in the whole country. And we do like if you go for the really countryside of Minas Gerais, we found this spongy doce de leite, which is this little dice, squares that it melts on your mouth as well. So it's great for with coffee, with tea, whatever you think. It's super tasteful. Yeah.
Really nice. And how does it work typically, guys? Do you have a menu every day, or if people want to order something, do they have to do it in advance, or how does that all work?
Yeah, so we do have there are, so if you depends what you want, right? So we have something that is immediately available, like we have pão de queijo, which is also something that is very typical Brazilian but not very well known. So it's a bread, but with cassava flour, so it's also gluten free. And we have that frozen, and you can just order and we deliver. So you can just put in the oven 30 minutes and then it's done fresh and very cheesy.
Pão de queijo sounds perfect. Bread and cheese. I'm there.
Yeah.
I mean, really.
So, but we also like the chicken pie, things that takes more time. We ask around 48 hours, so we can well prepare and have it on time. So it varies a bit, and we make available our menu on our Instagram account. Also, we have like a WhatsApp that you can contact. So yeah, and we still need to work on more, like business card and those kind of things. As I said, it was something that, okay, let's do it. And we started, and yeah, bit by bit, we improve on the,
I have to say, you must be doing very well, because our social media has lit up here. We've got so many messages coming through. People saying
we were
sausage, the pão de queijo. There's all sorts here that everybody's raving about. Now, obviously, you share a language with Portugal, but do you share the same food?
No, they are different. Yeah, so we have a lot of influence. So Brazil was a country that it was so many influences from Italy, from Germany, from the Netherlands, because like Erik and my mom is a daughter of Dutch parents, so we are half Dutch. So it has a lot of influences, and of course influence from Portugal. But we have very different typical foods, like but we do eat a lot of Portuguese food, so because of the influence. So going to Portugal, you can easily find as well Brazilian restaurants. I think it's kind of an exchange that became.
Well, I do have to ask you: do you make pastel de natas?
No.
Sorry, Joe.
That's okay. Well, I make them myself, so that's okay.
Yeah, they are very good, I have to say. Yeah. But you need to try the desserts we have. We have like nice cookies, and also the doce de leite fondue. Pé de moleque, which if you translate, it means like the feet of the boy, like which is not very good.
Quite so appetizing.
But it has peanuts on it, and it's very tasteful, and it's very traditionally Brazilian sweet.
Well, we've got to stop talking about food.
We also have cakes and banana cake, sweet corn cake.
It's true. So if folks want to find you, how do they get a hold of Deli Minas?
So we have an account on Instagram, so at deli.minas, and on Facebook as well. So and there you can find our WhatsApp as well, or just send a direct message. So it's the easiest way to find us.
Fantastic.
And we also have an email. It's info@deliminas.com. So you can also send an email to us.
Excellent.
Because we started on the pandemic. Mostly it's digital, right?
Yeah.
So.
Sure. Yeah. Well, we will put all of your details onto our social media. As I said, we've had so many messages come through while you've been on. I appreciate your mum's very keen over in Brazil to be watching you, that's for sure. So maybe she's got all the family with her as well, which would be delightful. We should get all your details up there. Thank you so much for joining us, lady.
Thank you for having us. It was a pleasure.
Of course.
We wish you all the luck luck with your endeavours, and we
Thank
hope to
you.
see you on the show again soon.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Ciao.
Obrigada.
Ciao, ciao. I can't see this, Tracy, but the amount of messages that have come through from the ladies, all saying about all these different yummy foods that they've got. I mean, really.
Guys, I'm following them on Instagram, and they're posting every day something. It's for meat people, for fish people, for veggie people, for sweet tooth, everything. And it looks so good.
For people. Let's just put it that way.
For people. For all people.
For
They
people.
cover it all.
Yeah.
You got the bases covered.
Gosh.
But it's so, isn't it so, what a brave thing for these two young ladies to do as well, you know, to start this in the middle of coronavirus crisis and just go for it.
The same for Sue Brothers, didn't they start during the lockdown as well?
Yes, yeah, I think they'd already started a bit the year before, but they were sort of branching out more.
Yeah.
But it's amazing, really. But the thing is, also with all the people ordering in and having stuff delivered to homes, it's really the place to be right now, isn't it? Good quality stuff.
But you know, the wonderful thing about this, I mean, because we've taken a look at this at the Maastricht edition. You know, we've adjusted our show to